Okay, let's position right. All right. Welcome to Write With Me. I am Danita Jones, and here we do two 25-minute sprints with a 5 to 10 minute break in between. This is your productivity hour. This is your hour to get it done. And unfortunately, I was planning on stopping my Write With Me or pausing it for a bit in about a week or so, but I'm going to pause it starting after today, and most likely coming back in June. I have a lot of things going on upcoming. And so it's going to be a lot to juggle and also trying to get rest at the same time. So, but this has been a wonderful journey, and I started it back in August. And so, but yes, before today, I am going to be working on Peter Crosby, working on one of the chapters. And so that's what I'm doing this morning. So let's get started. Hey, Amy. Happy Wednesday to you too. So it was cuddling with the cat when the notification popped up. Wanted to make a cup of coffee, I'm sure. And so, just so you know too, which I was actually going to email you if, just in case if you didn't come on today. But today will be my last day for Write With Me until about June. There's this, I got, as you know, I have mentioned before, I have a lot of things coming up, and so I'm just going to give myself a little break before everything really starts hitting the fan. So just wanted to let you know. But yeah, I will um, post on here when I'm officially going to be back. Uh, you said I'm so excited for you with everything going on. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And so yeah, and I just want to give myself a little cushion before everything to about to really kick off. So you'll set a reminder to start watching you again. Okay, great, awesome. And I said, I'm gonna do a post too. I don't know if you actually see any of the posts that I do here, but just gearing up for when I do start back in June. So, but I've been so appreciative of you being here. It's been really great. I love having you here. So, and I'm working on a chapter for Peter Crosby right now. So that's what I'm working on this morning. So, mhm. And of course, now my dog needs to be let out. I'm hearing him in the background. I will be right back. Something told me to open the door for him before I get started. Alrighty. Time for our first break. And oh, you know what? I just realized I don't have my other light on in here. I just wonder why it looks a little dark. But there we go. All right. It's a little better. Somewhat better. But oh well. How did that break go? He says, yes, I do check the posts if you're not here. Okay, great. Awesome. So yeah, even after all this time, I'm still getting used to everything on YouTube to know, and even to know if the posts are being, seen, So yeah. So how did that break go for you, Amy? I mean, sorry, that last sprint. My mornings discombobulated today because Hubs was teaching a class in town. Gotcha. What does he teach? And for me, let's see, I only have a few more, I think, 4 more weeks left of teaching, and it's going well. Our students, um, he's usually out at Hanford. Okay, and so yeah, so I have 4 weeks left with my students, and they are this past class on Monday, they were beating out their stories for their 7-page script. Um, he's a radiation tech, but he teaches LOTO. I don't know what LOTO is. Um, and they have some really interesting stories. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it all develops. On Monday, they have to turn in their script. So, but it's cool to see just in this class, they actually in the spring, it's normally not the screenwriters that take this class. It was a prerequisite for everyone in film school at Dodge. And so I have mostly producers in the class, but they have such great story instincts right away. And so it's been a pleasure, and just to see all their incredible stories and creativity, and it's just really wonderful. Um, let's see, lockout, tag out for construction, operation, electrical. Okay, great. So, but yeah, it's been really great to see such a wide variety of storytelling in class. I have 11 students, and all of them have such unique voices, and come from very different backgrounds. Um, you're working on the beats for your series this week too. Last night, I was banging my head on the desk trying to decide if the twins are born before or after the midpoint. I don't like her falling in love with Prego hormones going on, but I understand why soaps drag it out. Yeah, yeah, I've been speaking of soaps, I've been on a binge of Grey's Anatomy, and I had never really watched the show before. I started watching it last December, right around the time, or November actually, right around the time when all the other shows go on hiatus for the holidays, and and I have been hooked. I mean, I've really been binging it. I'm now caught up to the current season. So it's been, and then, talking about dragging things out, that they definitely have those, storylines that they completely drag out. But it has been well worth it. It's been really good watching. For me, I'm working on Crosby, and I'm writing his story in third person limited, serial limited. I really prefer writing in first person, but with this story, there's so much that I want that his character may not know, and so I feel like I have to write it in third person, but I'm not really a fan of writing in third person. And so while I was struggling with this morning, I said, let me just write some of the stuff right now in first person just to get my head in the game for him and his thoughts and how he's going about things, and then switch it over to third person. So but that's where I'm at. Hey, Larry B, Lord Lawrence. Uh, you hurt your wrist. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Have to take a break this week. And oh, and just so you know, too, Larry, today will be I'm taking a break myself. After today, let me pause this real quick. After today, I won't be back until June. I have a lot of things coming up and juggling a lot of things. I will be on a new show starting at the end of this month. But I'm also, while doing the show, finishing up teaching at Chapman, finishing up my studies at Harvard for this semester. And so it's just too much going on. And so a lot of great things, but it's just a lot to juggle. And so I just want to I'm gonna come back in June to do my Write With Me. So I'm so happy that you're here today though, too. So you get to hear that announcement. I was gonna text you anyway. But yeah. So now I'm getting back into working on Crosby. So Buhias and congratulations, Jay. And Amy says, I like to hear how that goes, the switch from first to third. Third will probably be easier for the violent parts, but first makes the reader feel everything. Yeah, and so actually, so I feel kind of reversed about that actually. I know that uh, because the way I'm going, let me pause again. The way I'm going about the third person, especially during the violent sections, we had studied Chekhov's Grisha, which was written in third person limited, but very close psychic distance. And so with that, I felt like, okay, I can really still get in the feel of what's going on with the characters. Um, and, but I don't know. I just really, I don't, yeah, such a tough thing trying to figure out which one is the best way. Because I love being in the head of the person. And with third person limited, you're able to still, it kind of feels kind of close to being first person. For instance, in Stephen King's Misery, I don't know if you've ever read that. Initially, the way it's written really feels like it could be almost first person, and but it's written in third person, but a very extremely close psychic distance that you feel like that is actually almost first person because the narrator is so within Paul, who's the person who's being victimized by Annie in Misery. Um, and you feel everything that he's going through. So I do want to have that type of feel when I do, especially the violent scenes. So um, and Amy say, I love reading and writing third person limited, but it's not popular in your genre. Yeah, yeah. Because yeah, with the romance, because you do romance fantasy type of stuff, right? And Larry's like, I find the more I do, the more it comes my way. Seems to be the same for you. Taking this time to tighten up what I have, less than 20 pages away. I always seem to write in first person. Okay, cool. And yay, less than 20 pages away. That is great, Larry. I remember when you started everything here. So that is really great. Some celebratory things too. So yeah, so today I'm just kind of playing around. I have an assignment due actually on Friday with have like I need to at least turn in 1,000 words. Um, but I'm just kind of experimenting with his voice, and even though I've read his voice, I'm doing a lot of experimenting. So Amy says 20 pages, congratulations. And so I'm gonna get back to this and keep playing around with seeing how I want to do this. Right now, the scene that I'm working on is a scene at the church, at the AME church, and I'm incorporating the last scene ads. And last scene ads, for those that don't know, are the ads that were placed nationwide in newspapers of formerly enslaved people looking for their loved ones. And so I'm setting that up here too. And then also introducing Justice of the Peace, Sidney Brooks, before he challenges the YMCA, because at this time, a new law had passed in Mississippi, a civil rights law, that's saying that discrimination wasn't allowed in public places. And so he's challenging the YMCA by going to an event there, which normally segregates whites from blacks in when they for their events. So this is the scene that I'm working on, the teeing up of that. So all righty, all right. So let's get into the sprint. Mm. righty. That is our time for today. And so let's see, did I miss anything here? Next page. Hope you're doing swell. What you're working on, Miss Page. Gotta go. Good luck. How far along are you? See you in June. Yes, see you in June. Okay, great. The sprint was awesome. That is great. And for me too, I decided to go back and review the biography that I wrote or was asked to write for enslaved.org on Peter Crosby. And so just laying in some more of his backstory. And it was just, I was debating on how much backstory that I want to get into, especially in this first chapter here. But the opening paragraph doesn't have any backstory. I don't want to launch with backstory. I want to launch with the setting and what they're into at this moment. Let's see what you say, Amy. The brain still plugged into the story, can't speak straight. And so, but I'm feeling a little bit better about it, and where I'm going. And I am in, I kind of played around with first person when I first started writing this morning just to try to get my head going because I'm write more naturally in first person. And, but now even that I rewrote quickly as I'm now getting my head kind of into this whole third person world. So um, let's see. Amy says, I love that idea where for the first half of the book, each page raises more questions than it answers. I love that too. It's really, it's a great technique and strategy regarding that. Um, that's really something else to even contemplate in my own work too. So, but that is it for me for now. I will be back in June. I will post when I'm coming back. And again, thank you so much for being here and being and supporting me in this. And I really appreciate it. And I've been enjoying the community here. Of course, Amy. Let me get some hearts here. And see you then. Take care.